everyone. Seemed like a good time to do a video. Another one of my late night stoned on full extract cannabis oil videos while I'm still obviously medicating to fight a recurrence of brain cancer. And although I wasn't expecting that I would be fighting it again like this, I'm just a bit choked up really on what I have seen of people since it. In the cannabis community, I know I mention them a lot in this group, in these videos, and I know that some people are part of that in my circle of friends, and some are not. And but one thing is that both of them know is that I'm always going on about cannabis, and I'm always banging on about the progressive waves and stuff, because generally in the daytime, I think what I do a lot of the time when I'm working, I'm in work tomorrow in Bangor, and while I'm working I'll often have just listening in the background, just YouTube videos which are just all US politics, and it's just all massive, like all over, massive big kind of discourse going on there at the moment. Yes, it's like the whole country is like in a massive debate, and it's everyone's being exposed. All the people that are involved in US politics at the moment is interesting because it's so like Game of Thrones at the moment. So I went to a Momentum meeting today for the Labour Party in the UK, because obviously we're in support of Jeremy Corbyn, and we find that we're misinterpreted to I guess what you'd call floating voters. The right wing minded, I guess, have a vested interest in people with like a moderate interest in politics, just believing that everybody that's in Momentum is a Leninist, or like a communist, for want of a better word. So it's like a red scare, and I know I'm in a red room at the moment. This isn't some kind of propaganda, this isn't some kind of subliminal message. I've done a video like this before. I have a red LED bulb, and it's just because I find it a very anti-inflammatory light. But don't worry, this is not like welcome to Soviet summer. Oh, I'm sorry, that I'm not comfortable with that kind of. I'm sure I've got some Russian friends somewhere. I don't want to offend them. And also, it's I'm taking a piss there because it's. Right, that brings me back to my point then. Okay, so in the US, all that arguments in regards to their political system at the moment, I keep up to date with it, and I really support all the progressive voices that are commentating on what's happening over there right now. And I've been following US politics that closely ever since 2016, when I was first diagnosed. So that was my first year battling brain cancer. And I was, I guess, what you call what in the US, what we call a neoliberal here, or a Blairite, some kind of false socialist, I guess. So obviously it's it's like a Chaka Uman. It's Chris Leslie, like those guys. They're so exposed, like, for what they are, and it's amazing just how it parallels a lot of the drama that's happening over in the US. Because obviously everybody's just Trump crazy, and Russia crazy in the US. I guess the majority, that's on the surface, that's probably what the story is. But just underneath the surface, in the US at the moment, it just seems like, I mean, you can always. This is going by polling. What else are we gonna? Am I gonna use my argument on this? Based on the polling in the US, it seems that within a majority, a good, respectable majority, all agree on a progressive policy platform. Because if you're polling just on policy, and you've not, say in this survey, you've not even mentioned who's who, you've not named anyone, you've just laid it out there for them to choose. It's right. So in I guess 2 weeks, I gotta go do my third round of chemotherapy as well. I'm just I'm not looking forward to it really. To be honest, the stuff really frightens me, really. I mean, I know it could be so much worse. This is not one of those situations where I've got to go to a hospital to get this administered. It does actually help that it's a tablet that you can take when you go home. But I feel like I'm trying to reassure people that I'm not just taking a leap of faith, and that's so it's kind of like my as if, because obviously my protocols through the vast majority of the past 3 years that have been since diagnosis, it's and it's really dawning on me that how that's like an era of my life. That's a big chunk there. I find that my memory throughout my life seems to be dictated on where I'm living, and I've moved around quite a lot. And when I say I've moved, it's like I've had a life, right? Okay, so it's like that was a life, and then you move, and then that's a completely different life. It feels like that. because you meet different people, your mindset changes, different experiences. It's a different course. It's entirely different. Yeah. So it's just I know these. I wish I could do a better job with these videos. I know because I post these on YouTube, and that's because I can't be bothered to put up with the alternatives that they just don't provide the kind of service that you expect. Like they don't somehow these other services that are not YouTube just seem to really struggle when you want to upload something to them. So yeah, I put most of all of my videos on YouTube, and but on YouTube there are a lot of really good vloggers out there. There's especially in terms of cancer. There's lots of people that are raising awareness now that, thanks to things like YouTube and Twitter, it's almost like everybody has a voice. Some people just have shouted louder before you, and it's just like that. So it seems like it's easier for them to get people's attention. And you know, when you're going through cancer, everything feels like you're in some kind of plot. Nothing's very real about it. And even today, on the brain tumour support group that I'm in on Facebook, which is beating brain cancer, I saw somebody, I guess he was recently diagnosed, and he's, you know, just seeing somebody struggling with the fear that causes, and I remember it so well. Oh, it was it brings it all back to you, but it really homes in how important as well it is that it's if it's a fight, then it's a fight that you just win and it's easy and that's the end of it. And it has to be that way because it's just like the first vlog that I ever made on this situation. Failure is not an option, and you know, I'm literally in that situation. I was in that very first video. Well, not quite as bad as that. Actually, that was probably worse. But well, I don't know actually, to be honest, because to be honest, I find radiotherapy and chemotherapy are just as much of an ordeal on the body as each other. One burns you and one poisons you, and it's just because we're trying to find a couple of cells. Well, I say a couple of cells. Yeah, a couple of cells, because we're talking about the stem cells at the end of the day. They're the bosses when it comes to cancer. Anybody who says that chemotherapy is the way to find a cure is talking absolute bullshit, because I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm not right about this. The chemotherapy is a monotherapy. It's a one use for a specific job, to do a very specific purpose, and that it has an obstacle. It's called the blood-brain barrier, and it's not that it doesn't get through at all. It does. It's just it's not doing it the right way, because chemotherapy is very much based on a cancer as a solely genetic problem. Most of the research in cancer research, especially establishment research, so it would be Cancer Research UK, they're becoming a bit like the BBC of the medical world, or to patients and so on. Anyone facing a serious illness like me, they are very much anything where we're being given the standard of care feels like you're just paying your TV license, because it's so fixed and rigged, and not to say that they don't do any good, because they actually do. And in fact, I know for a fact that they do some good, because eventually some of that money does filter through to areas of research that are genuine. And I know that just through observing people who are going through similar situations to me, and maybe they're closer to the medical establishment and the cutting edge research. I don't have that access myself, so I kind of just have to have this kind of journalistic approach to my battle against brain cancer. So anyway, part of my protocol is that I need to sleep a lot better than I have been in the recent months. I really need to work on that, so I'm going to have to leave this video here. Hopefully it won't take too long to upload it. Thank you. Night, everyone.